Good afternoon. My name is Donna Laurie, and I'll be talking to you about Japanese origami. The reason that I wanted to show Japanese origami was because I read a story about a little Japanese girl. Her name was Sadako. And I always remember that since I was a little girl back in grade school. This little girl, she was about 2 years old when the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, Japan. When she was about 10 years old, she noticed signs of leukemia. And so there was a belief, or like a myth, that if you made 1,000 paper cranes, you could have a wish granted by the gods. So Sadako started making 1,000 paper cranes. Unfortunately, she didn't get to finish. When Sadako was maybe about 12 years old, she died from leukemia that she contracted because of the radiation from the nuclear bomb. So I started to learn about origami, and I discovered that the Japanese started this for, just as a pastime, and it's something that can help if you have a lot of anxiety, you get bored, or if you're a crafty type person. So I start with just a basic piece of copy paper, and to be able to get that paper square, since it's rectangle, I fold it like this, and then the leftover piece, fold it over and just cut that off, or if you don't have a scissor, you can tear it. So let me get this folded over. And sometimes I don't always tear it correctly, but what I have found out over the years is that people make such extravagant things. They make flowers, they can make hats, they can make fans, just very, very extravagant things. And some people pride themselves on making things out of very small pieces of paper. So basically, this is the fairly straight piece of paper. If I had taken more time, then this wouldn't be so raggedy looking. And I did this with a smaller piece of paper here, and this one I had already cut. Perfect square. So take that square and fold it into a triangle. From that triangle, you want to fold the triangle into a triangle. So you had your triangle, and then you fold it into another smaller triangle. That triangle can be opened up into two basic little, maybe it looks like a snow cone or a pointy couple of ice cream cones. So take that first one, poking the finger into there to make sure everything is straight, and turn that into a square. So the cone becomes a square. Now, as you can see, here's the other side. If it had been still folded over, you could see it was a triangle. You're going to take that other cone, and where that first fold was, it will help it fold backward. So you're going to fold that backward and turn the other cone into a square. So let me show you one more time. First you had your perfect square, then you had your triangle, and then you took the triangle and turned it into a smaller triangle, and then you took your smaller triangle and you realized you had two cups or cones, flat cones, Take your hand in there and then turn that into a square. Turn it over, turning that into a square as well. And then I took this and I folded it into a kite. So some of this stuff can get quite intricate. Some of the origami was made out of 1-inch papers, and I don't know how they did it, but some of the small paper foldings are so beautiful and so unique and intricate. So basically what's happening is I'm making a kite. It looks like a little paper kite. So what I've done is taken that square and folded it over, and then the point is at the open bottom. I took the top of it and folded over and back and forth to be able to crease it, because you're going to need that crease later. And then I took that, opened those kites back up, and using those previous creases that I made, I pushed my hand in there and then turned it into a boat, if you will. So I have kind of a little boat here. And then that's the other side still looks the same. Here's your boat on this side. And then I'm just going to flatten that down and do the same thing to both sides. So Sadako was a very athletic young lady. She was the fastest runner in her school. It was unfortunate that she ended up getting leukemia, and it's pretty sad to hear. And she had a lot of very close friends who took on the task of making the final 1,000 paper cranes, because Sadako only made 60-some paper cranes before leukemia took her life. So what we have is now a diamond, and it's kind of a walking diamond. One side does not walk, but one side does. You can take that split and you're going to turn one of those legs inside out, and all the way to the center, and it's going to be a point. So you can see one leg is still down, and if I had turned this inside out, it would happen, or this is what would happen. Same thing on the other side. And now we have a crown. And so this is where you're almost to the finished product, and there's several different types of paper cranes, but I find that this is the best one, and it seems to be the most creative and actually can fly, or it gives the appearance of flying. So what I did is I took one of these crowns, and close to the bend I pull it down. Now what's happening is I'm making a wing. So I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm taking this down, folding it, and now, because the wings are going this way, then obviously that would be the head side of the bird. If I made the head side on this side, can you see how the wings would be backward? So now, once I folded down that top part a little bit, I pulled it back out just to show that that is a beak and that is the head. And you can grab it right here, and then the first time you want to pull the tail out, and oops, the head, and this bird flies. So if you make 1,000 of these, then your wish will come true. And thank you for listening to my video. If you go to Hiroshima, Japan, in Hiroshima Peace Park, you can find a statue of Sadako and a golden paper crane floating below her on the structure where her statue is. This is, again, a true story.